Hello guys, well we have finally made to April. Who's ready to get this wiffle ball season rolling? And MLW sure is. As I discussed with Kyle in the last episode of the Wiffle Statement podcast, the league is growing incredibly now, more than ever, and a lot of big changes are coming this year that are definitely for the better. It's really exciting, and I know all the fans are getting hyped to see how their favorite teams are going to be doing this season. So today, I'm going to stick my feet into the fire and give my preseason power rankings, worst to best, for MLW. Let's go. Who else is going to be last? The Seahawks had seemingly accepted the fact of being the league's punching bag of awfulness, and that was fine. I could tolerate them. But then they said this. Now, as a commentator of the Wiffle community, I'm going to treat this comment seriously. And now I'm going to respond and rip it apart. You deserve the disrespect you have received because that disrespect is fueled by the fact that the Seahawks blatantly play like a team that does not care. It's obvious that they treat the season like a fun joke and don't put forth the effort to be a competitive team. Their body language, their lack of effort is honestly pathetic compared to the competition. And compared to that competition, they are easily the worst team in the league. However, if they really are going to put forth some effort this year, I'd be more than happy to change my opinion and watch some more great wiffle ball from another team. But as of now, the Seahawks are dead last at my 6th spot. And yes, the Wildcats are in my second to last spot. It was a weird and good change to not see the Wildcats winning or even being in the World Series last year. And Kyle has been and still is one of the best, if not the best player in the league. However, last year we saw having a rather weak lineup behind him was just crippling. They stranded a lot of runners, and Kyle's arm had to carry the team. And right now, I'm not saying that Kelly and Purak are going to be the worst players in the league, but we're going to have to wait and see. And that unknown of how these two will perform is why I'm putting them in the 5th spot, behind rosters who I know for sure are overall more solid. For the record, I'm going to say that the 2017 postseason series between the Predators and the Cobras was one of the best and hardest fought in MLW history. And honestly, I think the Preds played them certainly better than the Wildcats did, and almost as good as the Mallards, just that the Mallards had 5 games to outlast the Cobras and come back. But now that's over with, and moving away from that disappointing loss after their best season yet, the Preds will have to carry that momentum they had last year into 2018. Last year, Alec Warda really matured as a pitcher and became, in my opinion, one of the most dominant pitchers in the league last year. The thing that keeps the Predators from crushing opponents is their hitting, which is clutch enough to grind out wins, but a team average of .202 last year is not good enough for comfort. If they can improve on hitting this year and have Hotman bring something to the table, be that another pitcher or a reliable bat, then they could really make some noise this season. Don't worry, I'm not going to make a Cobras blew a 2-0 lead joke. The Cobras are a baseball wiffle ball team. You can tell by the way these guys hit and throw that they're ball players. Does that make them automatically good? No, as can be seen by the first half of 2017. But if they can play like they did in the postseason last year, with Drew Davis pitching well enough to keep them in games, then they can hit. And my gosh, Durand, Krause, Marvin, and even Drew, they're going to be a murderer's row for pitchers to work through. Personally, I think that firepower lineup is going to be what really makes them a contender this season. Ah yes, the Mallards, the deadly trio. Last year and this year, the Mallards are still a powerhouse to me. I'm not going to talk about Porth at all because he only played in like 2 series last year. So unless he actually decides to commit to a full season, then he won't even be a factor. And honestly, I don't think the Mallards need anyone else. The 1-2 punch of Tommy's pitching and Dabriko's hitting is deadly. And honestly, everyone gives McPeak hell for not being able to hit. But the dude had a respectable average of .212 last year. He certainly contributed and, adds some emotional value to the team that makes them who they are. And who they are is the Mallards, the 2017 champs who came back from a 2-0 deficit. And personally, I think they're locked and loaded for a repeat year. And now coming down to my number 1 spot, we have the Eagles. The good old Eagles. That NLCS last year was an insane battle of the Titans. And I think next to Tommy and Kyle, Daniel is the best arm in the league. And this year, the Eagles have such a good lineup. Of course, we have Price and Cratchit returning, and they're both solid utility players, but also Brennan Schultz. He adds so much power to their batting lineup that, to me, he changes their whole dynamic. If he is able to make more series and play more games than last year, he will add to the Eagles' wrecking crew. However, the trade that makes the Eagles really clinch my number one spot is the addition of Zach Whalen. He is one of the most underrated players in the league, in my opinion. This kid is young, he can hit, he had a 392 average last year with 10 home runs. On the pitching side, he's honestly probably better than Cratchit and will really round out a solid rotation for the Eagles and make them a team that can hit and pitch, and hopefully for Eagles fans, him combined with the rest of their solid lineup will allow the Eagles to make a run in 2018. And there you have it, boys. Those are my thoughts on all 6 MLW teams going into 2018. What are your thoughts? As always, tell me below in the comments. I'd love to know. And also, get excited for MLW's opening day on May 5th. Also, while I've been talking about MLW's upcoming season in this video, stay tuned to this channel for some big announcements on SPW, which will be starting up again soon and bringing some amazing fast-pitch wiffle action and competition to the South. And if you're a wiffle fan, you won't want to miss out. So if you're interested, of course, stay tuned here. And you can also follow us on Instagram at SPWiffs. Gonna sign off here, fellas. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Get out there and play some wiff, and I'll be talking to you guys soon. Goodbye.
In the left, not gone. Oh, what a catch!